Hey, Nicole here, and we are still here in our trip in Costa Rica. I just wanted to give you a quick view of what it looks like outside. It's actually raining outside right now, which is kind of a bummer because I was planning on shooting a lot of videos today outside in the beautiful gardens, but that's okay. We're going to figure out other ways to make it work, and this is like the way we're making it work in our room at our beautiful hotel here in Costa Rica. Well, today I wanted to talk to you about something that's very important to me, and that is about how there's always a way to figure out how to do what you want to do. I remember, how many of you have ever attended a marketing conference? I know I have. We started going to marketing conferences way back in 2006. We bought a membership program, and it was a very expensive membership program even way back then, and one of the benefits of it was that it included 4 live events every year, and that was really cool because there was like a whole group of us that joined this program, and we were all in the same stage of our entrepreneurial journey, and we got to see our friends basically every 3 months, and I think that provided even more value for the membership site that we bought, in addition to the education that we were receiving from the guru that was teaching us, was being able to make connections and friends in that community. Well, anyways, that was all side point. Have any of you ever attended a live event and have invested in that plane ticket and traveled? Maybe you took off time from work. Maybe you had to take time off from, arrange for babysitting. And we have 7 kids, so we always had to figure out how to do child arrangements there. Who's going to take them to school? Who's going to watch them? Who's going to make their lunches? And you finally get to this live event, and you get up early, and you run to the Starbucks lane, and you get your Starbucks, and you can get a good seat, and if you paid for the VIP upgrade, you get to sit in the front row, and you finally get into that seat, and you're so excited to learn things to help you with your business. And as you are sitting there listening to what you have just invested so much time, money, and resources to go to, you're listening there, and you're sitting there, and you're going, well, that's great, but I don't think that applies to me. I think my situation is different. I think the things that I'm going through are different. And then we walk away from that conference that we've just invested so much in to be there, thinking that the things that the person was trying to teach us don't apply to us. I'm going to out my mother right now. So my mom, she might watch this video, so sorry, Mom. But we were at one of the conferences and I always like to have people go with me, whether that was my husband or my mom. My sisters come with me. I've brought kids to conferences. I always like to travel with somebody. I remember the first time I actually went to a conference alone without anybody with me. It was like a really weird, because I have 7 kids, so there's always people around me, so I hate being alone. But anyways, I took my mom with me, and she is a very successful realtor in the Southern California area. So if you need to buy a house, if you're looking to buy a house in Southern California, my mom's the one. And we went to this conference, and we were sitting probably like in the middle, 2nd row or 3rd row. I mean, we were right there. And the stage was like inches away from the first row. And the speaker was right there on the stage right in front of us. And he was speaking on a topic that's very important to every single business out there. He's talking about how to build an email list. And he's talking about how it's very important to have a list and the different ways that you can use an email list, how you can capture leads, and then you can use have some type of free offer to have people opt in, and you build up a little funnel, and you send them automated emails to get them to book appointments with you, and how that can show your credibility and your authority and help you to build more leads. Well, my mom, as she's sitting there, I could not make this up. she pulls out a Better Homes and Garden magazine. It was classic. So she's like going down in her bag, and I'm thinking, what's she gonna get? She's gonna get a pen. She wants to take notes. No, she pulls out a Better Homes and Garden magazine, and she opens up the magazine, and she just starts reading the magazine and flipping through the magazine while the speaker, my mentor, is right there on stage, literally about 2 meters away. I mean, and we are dead center, right? And I'm like, Mom, put that magazine away. And she's like, why? I'm like, Mom, put the magazine away. She's like, why? I'm like, you need to pay attention to this. And she's like, no, I don't. This doesn't apply to me. I sell houses. Yes, Mother, it does apply to you. Sorry, Mom, had to out you. And that is the situation so many of us find ourselves in. We are there listening to someone that could be a perfect fit for our business, something that could help us, but because when it's our own business, we have such a hard time sometimes to figure out, how does this apply to my business? And that's the kind of mindset that we need to have in order to be successful. And so instead of the next time someone teaches something, or there's a mentor that says something, it's not about, oh, well, that doesn't apply to my business, but to switch that type of thinking and say, well, how can I make this work for my business? How can I take, maybe not the whole way that they're saying it, maybe not every single step that they're saying, maybe not the way that they're saying that I should do this, but how can I take what they're teaching, take those principles and apply them to my business and to tweak them just a little bit. So I think in our last video, I was talking about how we got started with our e-commerce store. And in our e-commerce store, we used what is a drop shipper. And a drop shipper is a company that has, they buy products from all different companies. They hold them in their warehouse, and then they give you an Excel file of all of the different products that they offer with basically the wholesale prices. And you're able to then take those products, put them onto your website. You raise the price, so you're selling them at retail. And then when you get a sale, you just tell the drop shipper, please send this product directly to my customer, and they ship it with your name on it as if it came directly from you. So it's a way for you to build an e-commerce website without actually having to invest in inventory. Well, as we got started with our e-commerce business, we immediately, as I mentioned in the last video, we started to sell about $3,000 a month, which was super cool, because all of a sudden I met my 2 goals almost immediately in the first month we opened our business. And if you remember, my 2 goals were to be able to go to Starbucks and to buy a dress about once a month. That was my goals. And so we started to sell $3,000 a month, and then I learned about search engine optimization and how to get your site to rank #1 in Google, and we had a camping store. And so all of a sudden, we were #1 in Google for camping gear, Coleman tents, camping tents. I mean, we were everywhere. And this was back in the day when all of the camping brands, they did not know what SEO was. All of their sites were like Flash, they didn't rank at all. They were nowhere in the search engines. And so when we got to be #1, we were, all of a sudden, our sales went from $3,000 a month to $30,000 a month. And then I remember being there in the middle of the night because the warehouse, the drop shipping company, they did not have all of the products that we needed. So I'm like in our little tiny room in Mexico, because if you don't know my story, our first job is we're missionaries in Mexico. So we're in Mexico, and this is back in the days when we had dial-up internet. And a little tiny room. I think our whole house, my husband's gonna correct me later, but I think the whole house was like 600 square feet, had 2 floors, and we had this little tiny bedroom with my little tiny computer with dial-up internet. And my husband's like, and it's like 2 in the morning, he's like, aren't you gonna come to bed? I'm like, I can't. I gotta process these orders. And by processing these orders, that meant emailing people and saying, hi, the blue cooler that you ordered is actually out of stock. Would you like the red cooler instead? So I'm manually emailing all of these people because I didn't want to lose all of these orders that we got. But now this drop shipper, they didn't have all of the red coolers, because people would order from us because we were #1 on the search engines. But now we had a problem with, how do we have inventory? And again, we're in Mexico and we're selling products to clients in the United States. I probably didn't make that clear before, but our company we only sold in the United States. And so then we had this order come in for 500 hinges, cooler hinges. So, the coolers, they have like a little plastic hinge on them, and when they break, you got to replace them. Well, that may not seem like a big deal, but back then, the hinges cost me, I don't remember. Maybe they cost me like $1, I think they were like 99 cents, and I sold them for like $12. So I was like, okay, that's a lot of money, but how can I get 500 hinges? The drop shipper has like 12 in stock. What am I gonna do? So we can think, well, maybe I could just buy direct. I'm like, well, where am I gonna ship it to? And this is pre-Amazon fulfillment center. Okay, you guys that have e-commerce stores today, you are so lucky. You just send it to Amazon fulfillment and they just take care of everything for you. I did not have that when we started our e-commerce store. So so I'm like, okay, what can I do? So I call up Coleman and they're like, we work with this guy, I think his name was Ray. Ray became my buddy for like the next, I don't know, 7 years. He had my credit card number memorized for how much stuff we ended up ordering from Ray. So I get in contact with Ray, and I guess Ray was the outsourced salesperson for the Coleman company. So I get on the phone with Ray and I'm like, I need to order 500 cooler hinges. Like, no problem, fill out this paperwork and you have your business license, done. Where would you like the hinges shipped? I'm like, oh, well, not to Mexico. So I'm like, okay, Dad. This is how I got every business becomes a family business at some point if you own your own business. So I get my dad on the phone. Now my dad is an executive in a bank or a credit union, I believe. And he works a full week. I'm like, Dad, would you mind helping me out shipping these order for 500 cooler hinges to the Red Cross? And he's like, no problem. So that wasn't the problem. So we ordered this order of 500 hinges. They go to my dad's house and he receives the order, he reships them. I think we made like, I don't know, a few $1,000s of profit, and yay, we're so excited, right? Well, then I began to think, Dad, that worked out pretty good. Would you mind helping me out a little bit more? So we started to order more items direct from the Coleman company and have them be sent to my dad's house in California. And as we did that, there's lots of funny stories. Like at one point there was not just like a few products of boxes that you could leave on the front porch, but there was pallets. I mean, pallets and pallets of stuff. And so one time the FedEx guy is calling my dad saying, hey, I'm here to drop off your stuff. And my dad is like, great. Because remember, he works a full-time job. He's like, can you please just open up the gate on the side of the house? The door to the garage is open. Click the button to open the garage door and just leave the stuff inside of the garage and then just close everything when you leave. And the FedEx guy's like, are you sure? And my dad's like, yes, it's fine. So, I mean, he just figured out a way. Well, he did that for, I don't know how long, so long ago. But at some point it was like he's working 40 hours a week. And then he'd come home from work, from his executive job, managing a department of people in the credit union. And now he's printing out orders and packing and shipping and creating a system there, working in the evenings, maybe 20 hours a week. And then also all day Saturday and all day Sunday. So that only lasted a little while when that wasn't going to work anymore. So we had to make other arrangements. I think we ended up hiring another family member to help us, and they worked with us for several years. At one point we actually got a warehouse where we were stocking, and we hired a warehouse company to do this. And then finally, when Amazon Fulfillment came out, we started to move everything over to Amazon Fulfillment Center, which made our lives so much easier. And if you don't know how Amazon Fulfillment Center works, is you can basically order products from anywhere in the world, in China, from anywhere, have them shipped directly to Amazon Fulfillment Center, and it works kind of like the drop shipping company. You just keep your product stored there, and when you have an order, you can fulfill that order by sending them out from your own company. So I'm saying all this to share with you is that whatever your situation is, you're probably not, you might be, but you're probably not in a third world country. You're probably not on dial-up internet, I hope. You probably have more going for you today than I had for my resources available back when we started our business. But we were able to build a 6-figure business in a very short amount of time, just by having the mindset of we can't do this because of my unique situation, but trying to figure out, okay, well, yeah, we have a unique situation, but how can I make this work? How can I, despite my situation, despite my circumstances, how can we flip this around and turn this problem into something that I can fix? And sometimes it's going to take to think out of the box. It's going to take a little bit of creativity and being curious, and maybe you have to pull in family members and ask for help. But that is how you too can be successful in 2019, and that's what I got for you today.